Alright folks, we're going to show you how to install a gate package from Mountain West Building Supplies. First thing you want to do is open up the package, let everything out, make sure everything is here. What you want to look for is first you got your spindles, then you got your latch post, which will have these brackets welded on the top and bottom. You've also got your hinge post with just a blank post, nothing here. Top rail with a mounting plate and a bottom rail with a mounting plate. Also in your package you'll have some hinges, latches, some screws, some 4-inch spacers. Other than that, the tools you need to get going is a drill, measuring tape, rubber mallet, and some snips. So let's get started. Alright, so this is where we're going to mount the gate. It's very important you measure the top and bottom to make sure they're the same. So let's go ahead and take a measurement here. So we've got 41 at the top, 41 at the bottom. So what we're going to do is deduct 6 1/8 off of 41 to find out what our cut's going to be. So our cut is going to be 34 7/8. Again, that's 41, take away 6 1/8. Now that I marked my cuts, let's go to the saw and cut these rails. So when cutting, we recommend using a non-ferrous cutting blade on your miter saw. You can also use a hacksaw as well too. It'll just take a little bit longer to do and you won't get the clean cuts. We always recommend using a miter saw. Also, use some of the packaging material to protect the paint on the saw so you don't scratch it or dent it. So let's go ahead and make our cuts. Now that we have our rails cut, we can go ahead and put this onto our hinge post. Make sure the top rail is sitting just below the top cap on one side, and the bottom rail is doing the same on the bottom side. So let's go ahead and put this together. All right, now that we have the top and bottom rail put on, let's put on this post here. Slide it onto the top rail, slide it onto the bottom. We like to start with a 4-inch spacer on this side. They just snap right in. Work our way to the end and see what we have left over here. If we need to, we can shift all the pickets back. you get to a certain point, you may have to add a couple pickets in. So 1, 2. So when we get to the end, we have a couple options. We can either snip this back a little bit, have the same gap, or we can leave it the way it is. In this case, the gate looks pretty good, so we're just gonna leave it the way it is. We'll just cut the last 2 spaces to fit using some snips. There you go, gate's done. Now we're just gonna hinge it to the opening here. First thing you want to do is put these hinges on. There's no specific area where they need to go. Somewhere, you know, close to the top like that, you should be fine. Once you have that on, now it's time to hinge your gate. So the side with the plates, this is your hinge post, this is your latch post. So it's this post here that gets attached to the hinges. Okay, now that the gate is hinged, time to put the latch on. Again, there's no specific area where the latch needs to go. It's just based on your preference and how high you want it. Typically, we go somewhere around the top. Just make sure it's flush with the outside of the post. Last thing you want to do, blow all the shavings off. Comes with these covers. Main thing is you'll see one that's a little bit taller, a little bit fatter. Just make sure the curved edge is lining up with the curved side. And there it is, gate's done.